Every time you say yes when you really mean no, you're lying, not to them, to yourself. And that lie costs more than the favor that you just agreed to. Welcome to Daily Power Boost. Ignite your potential, the podcast where your transformation begins. I'm Sean Michael, and each day I'll bring you quick, impactful insights and action steps to fuel your personal and professional growth. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a leader, or someone ready to break limits and ignite greatness, this is your daily power boost to crush obstacles, stay focused, and awaken the extraordinary potential within you. Because remember, greatness begins within. Let's go. Welcome back to Daily Power Boost. Yesterday, we did the integrity audit, looking at where your life doesn't match your values. Today, we're addressing what to do about it. Because once you see the misalignment, you have two choices. Keep saying yes to what drains you, or start saying no to protect what matters. And here's the part most leaders struggle with. Saying no feels selfish. It feels like you're letting people down, like you're not being generous enough, like you're failing at leadership. But the truth, it's actually the opposite. Boundaries aren't selfish, they're sacred. And saying no is one of the most loving things a leader can do. I used to think being a good leader meant being available for everyone. Inbox open, DMs on, phone, always ready. If someone needed me, I showed up, no matter what. And for too long, I wore that like a badge of honor. Until my son asked if we could go out and kick the ball, just the two of us. My first instinct was to check my calendar to see if I had time. Not because he wasn't important, but because I had trained myself that everyone else's urgency mattered more than my own presence. That's when I realized every yes I was giving away was a no to the people I said mattered the most. I wasn't being generous, I was being unavailable, and I called it service. Here's what happens when you don't have boundaries. You become a resource instead of a person. People come to you because you always say yes, not because you're the right person for the job. Your calendar fills up with others' priorities, and slowly, quietly, you disappear from your own life. You can't serve from an empty well, but more than that, you can't lead from a place of resentment. And every yes you give out of obligation, not alignment, builds resentment. You resent the ask, you resent the person, you resent yourself for not saying no. And that resentment, it leaks into everything. Your tone, your energy, your presence. You're physically there, but emotionally, you're checked out. So let's reframe what a boundary actually is. Boundaries aren't walls. It's not you saying, I don't care about you. Boundary is saying, I care about you enough to show up fully when I do show up. And that requires me to protect my capacity. Every no protects a deeper yes. When you say no to the meeting that drains you, you're saying yes to work that matters. When you say no to a favor you don't have capacity for, you're saying yes to your family. When you say no to being available 24/7, you're saying yes to being present when it actually counts. It's not selfish, that's leadership. Here's what most people won't tell you. The people who get angry when you set boundaries, those people benefited from you not having any. Just let that land. Real leadership doesn't mean being everything to everyone. It means being available to what really matters and unavailable to what doesn't. And if someone can't respect that, they were never respecting you in the first place. They were just using. And that capacity, that's what we're protecting tomorrow. the sustainable pace, building rhythms that don't break you. Because once you start saying no, you create space. And the question becomes, how do you want to fill that space in a way that honors your actual capacity and not some fantasy self's capacity? That's tomorrow. But first, I want to land this. Here's your boundary as love practice. Think of one request you said yes to recently, but wished you hadn't. Now, rewrite your response. What would it sound like if you said no with clarity and kindness? Write it down. Practice saying it out loud. Not with guilt, not with a 3-paragraph explanation. A simple, I don't have the capacity for that right now. That's a complete sentence. And it's one of the most loving things you can say to them and to yourself. You're not responsible for everybody's needs. You're responsible for showing up fully to the ones you say yes to. And that requires you to disappoint people gotten used to you always saying yes. It requires you letting go of being liked by everyone. It requires you trust that protecting your capacity is more important than protecting someone else's comfort. And it's not easy, but it's honest. And honest leadership always costs something before it builds something. This was The Boundary as Love, why saying no is leadership. Tomorrow, the sustainable pace, building rhythms that don't break you. Because sprint seasons are real, but you can't live in them forever. And most leaders, they don't seem to know the difference. With strength and heart, I'm Sean Michael. Stay close. Thanks for tuning in to Daily Power Boost. Ignite your potential. Remember, transformation starts with action. So take today's insight, make it your own, and awaken your inner potential. Because remember, greatness begins within. Catch you tomorrow for your next Power Boost.